Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. I'm calling in from Chicago, Illinois today, but the temperature is close to 0 Celsius. I hope that you have a better temperature than we do here. So what I'm going to be speaking to you today is ReConstruct Visual Command Center. We call our platform, the SaaS platform we have, a visual command center because it taps into your visual data. By visual data, I'm referring to images and videos you're capturing with drones, 360 devices, or even cell phones. And what we do is we contrast them against your design information. Design that can be completely 2D, design that can be driven by building information models in 3D, or the hybrid of the two. So you can always see what is there versus what should be there. All that in the context of the project schedule, which enables you to perform monitoring of construction without being on the job site or having boots on the ground. So it enables you to perform quality control and track progress and project risk. So let me show you one picture. What is it that we offer? If you imagine your job site sitting at your home office today, you'll be logging into a web-based platform and you would see one single picture that speaks the truth of the job site for you. A picture that is completely measurable. Every single pixel in this picture that you're looking at, you can click on it and you can measure length, you can measure areas, you can measure volume, and you can contrast that against the design. In this case, the design that you're looking at is a 3D model that's overlaid on the picture, and it shows you what is there versus what should have been there, dictated by the project schedule. So immediately you can identify the delta, and you can see that being color-coded. Any areas, any locations, tasks in red, that area is behind the schedule, and anything that you see in green, that means it's either on a schedule or ahead of a schedule. So for us, it was really important to create this command center in a form that it taps into your existing data. Many of you who are participating on today's event are already using 3D models as part of your design. And Paul, Lydia, everybody else on the call did mention the application of these models. So the intent that we have is to extend the value of these models that you're already using in your pre-construction constructability reviews for assessing quality of the schedule as a baseline for progress. So the example that I'm showing you is actually from one of our clients. This is Microsoft, and we work with Microsoft as our owner client on multiple job sites. This happens to be a multi-billion-dollar project in California, where the model that's been coordinated for 19 different buildings and quite a lot of utility work is being tapped into P6 schedule tied to one another and is creating the baseline for schedule. When we speak about the visual data, anything is game. Some of you may be taking pictures with your cell phone devices. Some of you may be using time-lapse cameras, video taking. Drones have been extremely popular, and of course, as much as 360 cameras, or maybe you would do laser scanning. Our platform takes in any of these kinds of visual data and has the ability to map that against the design. So if you think about what I've shown you so far in terms of the type of data, in the context of remote progress monitoring, that means now you can bring all that data directly into our platform or through the exclusive integrations that we have with Oracle AConnect and also bidirectional integration that we have with P6. That means your images and videos from drones, from 360 cameras, from cell phones can be automatically mapped in a measurable 3D environment. Think about Google. And think about Google Street View. That's the experience you would get from every type of images that you're capturing, indoors and outdoors. If you tie that against your design, you'd be able to see that in the context of what is it that you're building that can be completely 2D and can be completely 3D. We support 62 different file formats of BIM. So if you're used to, Navisworks workflow for your coordination, if you're using Aviva Integraph, if you're using Bentley products, all of them can be models from those platforms can be brought into our platform, or can be remained really, really simple, a PDF. You can bring that and map that against the design. So you can use that as a basis of quality control. What is there versus what should be there can also be mapped in the context of the schedule, so you can start tracking progress. Everything is in a cloud-based system, and that means any user, unlimited number of users, can log into the platform, can immediately see one picture that speaks the truth of what is the most recent state of work in progress on the job site. A picture that is completely in 3D, mapped against the design. The design is integrated to the schedule, so now you can see 4D BIM against that reality. Again, any location, task, work package behind the schedule or on the schedule can be color-coded accordingly. As Phil mentioned, our platform also has an AI engine, and what it does is that it tracks rates of production and productivity on the job site, and it can forecast locations that are at risk for delay. So when you go to your coordination meeting with your trade contractors, you can rally the team on that location that is at risk for delay. So instead of being retroactive to delays that have happened in the past, now you can plan on how you can revise a plan in the future. It also works indoors. Examples that I showed you were projects from, state of Missouri here, very close to us in Chicago. This one happens to be another project where, field engineers are walking around with 360 photos. They're documenting the site in a street view experience, and then you can bring in the design information, have that overlaid on top of it. You've seen the color coding on progress, and this example is showing you how you can measure any dimensional components that you would like and pin any issues, quality, safety, RFIs against the picture and the design information. So I'm going to show you one of these workflows first, which is the process of taking images and videos and generating models. We call our system and this capability a time machine because it can map every type of images you have over a project timeline. This happens to be Oracle Innovation Lab, which is currently under construction in Chicago. Oracle is the owner of the project, and the contractor is Pepper Construction, one of our clients. They've been using the system for the entire length of the project for 18 months to document every work that happens. Sometimes they fly drones, like the example you're looking at. Sometimes they use 360 cameras, sometimes laser scanning. What you can do is you can log into the platform and you can see the most up-to-date status, dive into a high-resolution image, and measure any component that you desire. Beyond the 3D model, our system has a two-dimensional view, which is what you see in the navigation map. So you can use that as part of your navigation or completely switch to a 2D experience, which means your pictures from drones, your videos from a 360 camera can be mapped into a Google map and can be overlaid with your design information. So in this case, you see a very simple site layout, very simple, but extremely effective for superintendents that they can use this as part of your site layout conversations for coordinating what work needs to happen, for safety, or even quality. Again, design against the reality. I already mentioned about a few projects. ReConstruct has been used on hundreds of projects. We are actually close to about 1,000 projects so far in 4 different continents. This happens to be that Microsoft project. So this platform really scales to smallest projects that maybe it's a renovation, tenant improvement, all the way to a campus level project. If you have a campus level project, you can easily click on any location you desire without being on site. You can do a deep dive on that image and measure dimensions or see what kind of work is happening. Again, you can teleport yourself into another location by simply clicking on that, jumping to that location. Now we're diving into this high resolution image, and you can immediately see there's a stockpile, so you can measure that volume or document any safety or coordination issues. When it comes to indoors, a lot of people are more interested in using simple devices that are less intrusive or impactful on the actual work. So 360 cameras are the most dominant form of video capture that we see. You can simply mount these cameras on your hard hats, put them on videotape, and just walk around, videotape anything that you see. These videos in our system would be automatically transformed into this street view experience, where now on the ground you see these donuts. These are frames automatically extracted from the video. You can simply click on them, and you can go from one location against the other. As you see, when I'm making the transitions, there's a little bit of point cloud that shows up. That's a cloud of 3-dimensional points automatically generated from the video, which provides us with the ability of supporting measurement. That means you can click on any of these pixels that you're looking at right now, and you can measure length, you can measure areas, or even track them over time, because these alignments of models are completely automated over time. On the lower left corner, you can actually see a navigation map. The navigation map shows you where frames have been extracted. You can use that to jump around. That floor plan is automatically generated from video, which is downloadable, and you can use that as the base of your design. If you have your design information in 2D PDF, you can also import that into the platform and use that as base of your navigation. Again, the only cost to this is really just buying a $300 360 camera mounted on your hard hat and walk around every day on the job site, and you can teleport yourself and get these experiences. So this is the kind of point cloud you can get from the system. Oftentimes people say, does it replace laser scanning? By no means it does, but it does provide you with the ability of complementing it for medium resolution scanning. That means for day-to-day documentation and measurement, this is perfect. Both in 2D and 3D, gives you the ability to check conduits, embedments, pipes and whatnot, but this is really not for flatness or levelness measurement. Again, ReConstruct supports bringing laser scanning point cloud data. Once you have these capabilities in terms of being able to videotape and map the job site in 3D, have that navigation map, you can always jump into any location you desire along the project timeline. And you can say you want to filter the data to ground level. So that point cloud, the image only shows you things that are relevant to that location. And then you can superimpose your design information. Also see that design segmented to that location. So you see the design of what should be there versus what is there on the job site. The last component of our system, beyond ability to create a visual historical record of the project, supporting quality control, has to do with progress tracking and the ability of AI of forecasting risk. So our system in a web-based environment allows you to bring in a P6 schedule, have that tied to the model, and see pictures, indoors and outdoors, of the reality against what was promised to be done by different trade contractors you have on the job site. So that schedule can be directly tied into the model, can be tied to the pictures, so you can see what is it that is expected to be built every single day on the job, contrast that against the reality, and immediately see the delta. What are the things that started on time? What are the things that had late start? Many examples that Paul actually shared just a moment ago, but all that data is really being visualized in this case. There are many projects across 4 different continents that are using our platform. I've already showed you quite a lot of projects in the US. This happens to be one of our iconic projects in Europe with Skanska. This is a Citygate project, the tallest building in Nordic region. They're using the product every single day. There's a camera that's mounted on the tower crane, a fixed camera, and people are walking around videotaping indoors and outdoors. No matter what of a project you have in terms of the size, how many elevations you have, all of that is being mapped in 3D. And from any of these images, as you can see, you can actually do your measurement. If you notice at the bottom of the screen, there's an orange timeline slider. Every one of those dots shows you one time reality has been captured. So literally on this job site, they've not even missed one day of documenting what is the work that is expected to be done. Part of it has to do with COVID. Of course, you want to minimize boots on the ground. And there's nothing better than using images for coordination. It shows you what needs to be done versus the work that is being done for every single location. So you can leverage that. In the context of coordination, it all means rallying your entire team around the visual data that shows you the plan against the reality and the contrast between the two. This is a $100 million project in the US. Clark Construction was a contractor. They were using the platform in their coordination meeting. And it really transforms the way we do coordination meeting because it's all visual and it shows you risk for delay. Delay that hasn't happened, but it's about to happen. So everyone really has an incentive to be part of this conversation and help maximize productivity. You see the foreman of the concrete contractor standing up and getting engaged in a coordination meeting. This was really eye-opening for the team. We were able to take him from a planned percent complete of 46% to 70% in only 6 weeks. So roughly around 24% improvement. And the platform really doesn't do anything. It shows you where the problems are. And if your team start taking action, of course, we can close the loop in terms of how we are planning, monitoring, and controlling the job. So all in all, this platform, it really shows you what is there versus what you think should be there. So from that perspective, it gives you that transparency that you need indoors and outdoors. So you can immediately get access to what's going on. Oftentimes people say, are there, tangible ROIs that you've measured? If you check our website at reconstructing.com, you can see quite a few case studies. Before COVID, we actually benchmarked this exclusive to project executives and direct saving, 50% time saving. But with COVID, you can imagine the opportunity that you have. Many of our owner reps that, using the platform, for example, a $1.2 billion project in Florida, they actually use the platform for supporting billing verification to expedite how contractors get paid to get the work done. In terms of quality control, there are quite a few case studies that we've also published. I want to refer to our work with General Motors, a car manufacturing company in the US, and in terms of how we've been supporting their work. This case study shows that because they have the ability to show the version of the truth on the job site, they can support quality verification and minimize punch list items that they have. So change orders and claims from subcontractors for all projects we work on for that client, on average, has been reduced by $20,000 a month. There's one specific case that we're able to help them minimize a potential claim that could have escalated to be $1 million claim. In terms of being able to help progress to schedule, which is one of the capabilities here. There are two immediate benefits: cutting time from superintendents that usually have to chase down and get the information they need for progress tracking. The other aspect has to do with the saving of being able to update that information and share, which roughly for General Motors, that's been close to about $25,000 per month as well. So all in all, it's really a win-win solution for all parties engaged in the project. One single source of truth based on images against design. Everybody can see what needs to happen and take an action to improve the project. So that's all I had for you on ReConstruct. That's my contact information. If you have any questions, like to see demos, I'd be happy to join you at a later time.